I've been using RebelsFunding for the past 60 days and now I'm ready to tell you my honest review. More specifically, first I'm gonna give you an overview of this prop firm. Then I'm gonna show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow. After that, I'm going to log in my account to show you the backend and to give you an idea of all the instruments that you can trade and the spreads that you can expect to get. And finally, I'm gonna tell you what in my opinion are all the pros and cons of this prop firm. If at any point during this video you would like to try RebelsFunding, you can do so by clicking the first link in the video description. And once you get to the checkout page, if you tick this box and then write the discount code STKTRD, as you see right now on the screen, you're always gonna receive at least a 13% discount on all your challenges, no matter the amount of the purchase. So, if you're serious about trying RebelsFunding, I suggest you follow these steps. And now, let's start with the review. I'm currently on the home page of RebelsFunding, and a few of the things that we can immediately notice is that this is one of the few prop firms that allow you to have a free trial, and they give you the opportunity to manage up to $640,000 in simulated capital. If you scroll a bit down, we can also see that currently RebelsFunding has paid out more than $2 million to all of its traders. It has made more than 1,800 payments. Currently, it has 25,000 traders using this prop firm, and on average, the processing time for payouts is around 12 hours. Not only that, I also wanted to show you two more numbers that in my opinion are really important when it comes to RebelsFunding, and these numbers are 1,600 and 4.3. In fact, as you can see from this Trustpilot page, currently RebelsFunding was able to accumulate 1,600 different reviews with an average score of 4.3, which of course is a sign of a reliable and trustworthy prop firm. Going back to the homepage of RebelsFunding, there are a few additional features that I would like to point out about this prop firm. Number one is that this is a no time limit prop firm, so this means that once you purchase a challenge, you can take as much time as you want to complete it and to move to the funded stage. The second thing I would like to point out is that this prop firm offers you fast progress. In fact, not only every challenge that you purchase has a scale plan attached to it, so this means that if you can prove to be profitable long term, you can increase your capital under management without the need to purchase additional challenges. But once you get to the funded stage, you will receive back 200% of your fee, which is something unheard of. In fact, most prop firms either give you back only the fee that you paid, or some of them don't even refund you. The third feature that sets apart this prop firm from all the others are the unique programs. In fact, as I'll show you later, RebelsFunding offers 5 different types of challenges, so no matter if you're a beginner trader or an experienced one, you will find a challenge that is perfect for your condition. And lastly, RebelsFunding gives you the opportunity to trade on a modern proprietary platform. In fact, once you purchase a challenge, you're gonna be trading on the RF Trader platform. Personally, after using this platform for a few times, I found it really user-friendly, really smooth, and I really enjoy the fact that the charts are provided by TradingView. So this means that you're gonna have a top-notch experience inside this platform. You're gonna have access to a lot of different trading tools, you're gonna get access to a lot of different indicators, and overall I find it superior to a lot of other trading platforms that other prop firms utilize. Finally, before showing you what type of challenges RebelsFunding offer, I would like to talk briefly about their Discord server. In fact, I've been a part of it for quite a long time. Personally, I enjoyed it, but I don't think this is the best Discord community in the market when it comes to prop firm. In fact, even if there are a lot of members inside, the amount of conversation happening on a daily basis are not that much. I know that for some people this could be a positive because in this way it's easier to form a sense of community and to have deeper relationship with the other members, but at the same time I also know that there are other traders that maybe prefer to have a more active environment where they can simply join and read other people's messages without being an active participant in the conversation. That being said, some of my favorite channels were the analysis and chart. Here on a daily basis traders post their trading ideas and you can either use them as an inspiration, or if you want you can start posting your own ideas and get feedback from the other members of the community. Two more channels that I really enjoyed are the certificate and payout proof, because in this channel almost every day a new trader posts their certificate or a proof that they receive a payout, and this not only is a source of motivation but is also an additional proof that RebelsFunding is a reliable and trustworthy prop firm that is going to pay you if you follow all the rules. And lastly, we have the English general chat. As the name suggests, this is more of a generic chat where you can simply come, hang out and talk with other traders about things that are not necessarily related to trading. So now that I give you an overview of RebelsFunding, let's talk about the challenges that they offer. As you can see, currently you have 5 different types of challenges that you can pick from. They are called Copper, bronze, silver, gold and diamond. And the main difference between all of these challenges are the amount of steps that you need to complete to get to the funded stage. In fact, the copper challenge is basically a 4-step challenge. The bronze one is a 3-step challenge, silver is a 2-step challenge, gold is a 1-step challenge, and diamond is a 1-step challenge without the daily drawdown. Now, going back to copper, let me explain you more in details all the characteristics of this challenge. So, as you can see, the profit target is 5% for each phase. The maximum drawdown is 10%, and it's good to know that this is a static drawdown, so this means that it is based on your initial balance and is not gonna follow you as your equity increase. Same things when it comes to the daily drawdown. In fact, this is something pretty rare when it comes to proffer, but also the daily drawdown is static, and the only rule that you need to follow, as you can see, is that your account must not drop by more than 5%. When it comes to the leverage, you have up to 1 to 200 during the evaluation phase, and then once you get to the funded stage, the leverage is decreased to up to 1 to 100. You have a minimum trades of 4, so this means that to get to the next step, you need to have completed at least 4 different trades, and this is another interesting aspect about this proffer, because a lot of competitors usually have a minimum trading days, while in this case it's just about the trade. In fact, for example, you could potentially complete 1 step of this challenge in a single day. The only requirement is that you have opened and closed 4 different trades during that specific day. You have an unlimited amount of time to complete the challenge, as I told you before. The profit split starts at 80%, but with time it can be increased up to 90%. You have a refund fee of 200%, so this means that once you get to the funded stage, you're gonna receive back double the amount of money that you invested to buy the challenge. And finally, you have a maximum funding of double your initial balance. So this means that if you can prove to be profitable long term, you can increase your capital under management up to double what you started with. Now, talking about the bronze challenge, as you can see, the profit target is still 5% for each phase. The maximum drawdown is 10%, while the maximum daily drawdown is 5%, and also in this case they follow the same condition of the copper challenge. The maximum leverage for the evaluation phase is up to 1 to 200, while the maximum leverage for the funded stage is up to 1 to 100. In this case, you need to make at least 5 different trades to pass to the next step. You have an unlimited amount of days to complete the challenge. The reward split starts at 80% and can be increased up to 90%. In this case, your refund fee is going to be 150%, and the maximum funding is still 2 times your initial balance. Talking about silver challenges, in this case the profit target for step 1 is 80%, while the profit target for step 2 is 5%. The maximum drawdown is 10% and the maximum daily drawdown is 5%. Also in this case they are both static. The maximum leverage for the evaluation phase is up to 1 to 100, while once you get funded, the maximum leverage is up to 1 to 50. The minimum trades that you need to complete to get to the next step is 6. You have an unlimited amount of days to complete the evaluation phase. The reward split starts at 75% and it can get up to 90%. In this case, the refund fee is 100% and the maximum funding is still 2 times your initial balance. Next, we have the gold challenge. In this case, this is a 1-step challenge and the profit target that you need to reach is 10%. The maximum drawdown is 6%, while the maximum daily drawdown is 4%. The maximum leverage is the same both in the evaluation phase and also in the funded stage. You need to complete at least 8 different trades to get to the funded stage. You have an unlimited amount of time to complete the evaluation phase. The reward split starts at 75% and it can get up to 90%. The refund fee is 100% and the maximum allocation is 2 times your initial balance. Finally, we have the Diamond Challenge. Personally, I think that this is the best challenge when it comes to Rebel Funding, and if I was to purchase a challenge from this proffer, this is the one that I will pick. So, as you can see, this is a 1-step challenge. The profit target is 10%, the maximum drawdown is 6%, and you don't have any maximum daily drawdown that you have to worry about. The maximum leverage is 1 to 50, both for the evaluation phase and the funded stage. The minimum amount of trades that you need to complete to get to the funded stage is 5. You have an unlimited amount of time to complete the evaluation phase. The reward split is set at 75%. You have a 100% refund fee, and as you can see in this case, the maximum funding is a lot higher compared to all the other challenges. In fact, if you can prove to be profitable long term, this is the challenge that is going to reward you the most. In fact, imagine you purchase a $1,000 challenge for less than $50 and you can scale it up to almost $70,000 under management. Now that I give you a full overview of all the challenges that Rebel Funding offer, let me show you a few rules rules that you need to be aware of. The first rule is related to holding trades during the night. As you can see, you are able to hold trades overnight, but they don't recommend it because during this period the spreads might widen, and as a result they might hit your stop loss and you may be taken out of the position. Next, we have a rule related to scalping. As you can see, RebelsFunding allows scalping, but the only condition is that a trade need to be open for at least 30 seconds. If this is something that happens occasionally, you won't have any problem, but as you can read, if this is something that you do constantly and is actually part of your strategy, you might have problems and your account might be suspended. Also, when it comes to holding trading during the weekend, you are allowed to do it, but again, they don't recommend it because you might be subject to widened spreads. Not only that, it's also important to note that you can hold trades during the weekend, but you cannot trade during the weekend, not even cryptocurrencies. In fact, even if that market is open, if you decide to trade them with RebelsFunding, you are not allowed to do it. When it comes to news trading, you don't have any limitation. In fact, you can trade through the news and you can also trade the news. The only thing is that you need to be careful not to fall into the prohibited trading strategies, and more specifically, they are referring to gambling behavior. In fact, if they notice that close to important news release, you start opening trades with higher leverage and higher loss size compared to your average, this might be seen as gambling behavior and you risk getting your account suspended. But on the contrary, if you trade these periods of high volatility with caution and without over leveraging or overexposure, you won't have any problem. Lastly, let's talk about expert advisor, and unfortunately, as you can see here, it's not possible to utilize any automatic expert advisor or robot to help you trade, and the main reason is because they are not supported by the RebelsFunding trading platform. Now, if you respected all the rules that I just showed you, you're gonna receive your funded account and then you're gonna be able to request a payout. What you're seeing right now is the official contract that you receive from RebelsFunding once you get to the funded stage that you need to sign and send it back. And here I would like to show you the conditions when it comes to payouts. First of all, you are allowed to request a payout every 14 days. And as you can see here, the longer you are able to maintain your funded account, the higher is going to be your profit split. In fact, you're gonna start, for example, with 75% profit, and after 60 days, you're gonna be able to scale up to 80% profit. After 90 days, you're gonna be able to scale up to 85% profit, and after 120 days, you're gonna be able to scale up to 90% profit. So if you can demonstrate to be profitable long term, as time goes on, you're gonna start earning more money with the same amount of effort, which of course is something really positive and something that most prop firms should do. Now that I give you an overview of RebelsFunding, I show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow, let me log in my account to show you the backends and to give you an idea of all the instruments that you can trade and the spreads that you can expect to get. This is my RebelsFunding account, and here on the left we have a navigation menu that allows to access all the various features of RebelsFunding, and the first one I would like to show you is the competition leaderboard. In fact, here you can see the leaderboard of the most recent competition, and what I find really interesting is the fact that if you go on the name of one of these traders and you click on it, you can have a complete overview of this trader. In fact, you can see their profit balance, you can see how much they won, you can see how much they lost, you can see the average profit, you can see the average loss, you can see the symbol ratio, so you can see what is the symbols that they trade more often, you can see their win ratio, and if we scroll down to the bottom, you can also see all the position that they open. You can see the opening price, the closing price, where they put the stop loss, where they put their take profit, and I think that this are invaluable data because thanks to this information, you can literally study what the best traders inside this prop firm are doing. You can reverse engineer their strategies, and this is ultimately gonna make you a better trader. Another feature that I really enjoy about the RebelsFunding backend is the fact that you have access to a complete Forex course. In fact, as you can see here, you're gonna have access to 29 simple and effective lessons that can help you become a better trader. And some of the topics covered are, for example, proven trading strategies or how to develop better risk management skills. Below the Forex courses, you have access to the utility section, which is basically where RebelsFunding give you access to tools like the economic calendar, the Forex heatmap, the current live charts, and the Forex screeners. Of course, all of these tools can be accessed completely for free online, but it's always nice to have access to all of them directly in your backend dashboard. Below the utilities, you have the opportunity to see all your certificates that you have earned. Then you have the section related to payouts. You can see the various programs that RebelsFunding offer, and in case you decide to buy one, remember to use the coupon code at the checkout. Then you can see your various invoices. You have the opportunity to contact the help center, and finally you can activate or deactivate the light mode. So now that I give you a tour of the RebelsFunding backend, let me log in my trading account. So this is the account that I have with RebelsFunding. As I told you at the beginning, the charts are provided by TradingView, which for me is a huge pro. In fact, they are really smooth. Here on the left, you have access to all the various drawing tools that you might be already used to. Here at the top you can change your time frame, you can change the type of charts that you're looking at, you can add various indicators, you can set alert, you can decide if you want to see the ask chart or the bid chart. So basically you have access to top-notch charts, and to me this is really important because what I saw a lot of prop traders do is they do their analysis, for example on TradingViews or on other trading platform, and then they just log in into the prop firm to place their trades because they don't really like the trading platform that the prop firm provide. Well, with RebelsFunding I don't think that this is going to happen because this trading platform is really good. Here on the left you have a list of all the instruments that you can trade. Currently RebelsFunding give you the opportunity to trade Forex, then you can trade metals, you can trade cryptos, you can trade a few equities, and you can also trade indices and energies. Now going back to the Forex pair, as you can see, if I click on them here in the middle, I can see the current spread. So for example, for AUD JPY, currently the spread is a 1.1. If I look, for example, our Euro AUD, the spread is 1.2, 0.7. Let's look, for example, our Euro GBP, spread of 0.5, 0.6, 7, okay. Let's look, for example, Euro USD, spread of 0.4, 0.3. Let's look JBP JPY, which is really popular, currently spread of 1.4, 1.0. Personally, I think that it's normal to see a higher average spread when it comes to this specific pair compared to the others because it is more volatile and a lot of people even compare it to gold. Let's look, for example, at USD CAD, in this case 0.7. So overall, I will say that when it comes to Forex pairs, the spreads are really good. As you have just seen, most of the major Forex pair has an average spread of below 1. Now let's look, for example, at gold. Currently 1.7, 1.8. Again, in my opinion, this is a good spread. Usually when it comes to gold, my criteria is that if the spread is around 20 or 2.0, is an average spread and something good. If the spread is below 10 or 1.0, the spread is amazing, and if you can, you should trade gold with that specific broker or prop firm. Instead, if the spread is above 3 or 30, that's not a good spread, and if your favorite pair is gold, you should not use that specific broker or prop firm to trade with it. Now let's look, for example, at indices, which is again really popular among traders. Let's look, for example, US 500, in this case the spread 4.1. Let's look, for example, UK 100, 5. Let's look for the German, in this case 7. So overall, personally, I would say that the spreads that RebelsFunding offer are pretty good. Maybe they are not the best in the entire industry, but I would say that they are pretty good and they should allow you to trade profitably. And probably if you're not able to be profitable with this type of spread, the problem is not RebelsFunding, but the problem is your strategy. Now here at the bottom of the screen, as you can see, you have access to the list of all your position. You can see your pending order, your trade history, your transaction, alerts, messages. Here at the top you have a few more commands to open and close position, to see your pending order, to have a look at your account, select your setting, and here as you can see you have the option to open a buy or a sell order. So as I told you before, I find this platform for RebelsFunding really user friendly, and even if you're new to it, I don't think that it's gonna take you more than 1 hour to be completely familiar with it and to know exactly how every single button works. So, now that I give you an overview of RebelsFunding, I show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow. I log in my account to show you the backend and to give an idea of all the instruments that you can trade and the spreads that you can expect to get. Let me tell you what in my opinion are all the pros and cons about this prop firm. So the first pro of RebelsFunding are the statics drawdown. In fact, both the daily drawdown and the maximum overall drawdown are static in all the challenges, and personally I think that this is a huge pro. In fact, not only make it easier to track how much you can afford to lose, but most importantly it make it easier for complete beginners to pass the challenges because there are less things that they need to worry about. The second pro of this prop firm is that news trading is allowed. In fact, as we have seen, if you don't over leverage and don't overexpose, you're able to trade any type of news without any limitation. But of course you can take advantage of this rule, otherwise you will be marked as a gambler and you might risk getting your account suspended. The third pro of this prop firm is what I like to call the double scaling plan. In fact, RebelsFunding not only give you the opportunity to scale your account balance if you can demonstrate to be profitable long term, but as we have seen, a lot of these challenges, once you get to the funded stage, they give you back your fee plus some. So even if you still haven't requested a single payout, you have already earned money using this proffer. The fourth and last pro about RebelsFunding is the fact that the challenges are extremely cheap. In fact, for example, if you decide to go for a 4K copper challenge, you're gonna be able to get it for less than $30. And believe me, this is one of the lowest price that you will find in the entire proffer market. So if you're somebody that don't have a lot of budget, I think that RebelsFunding is the perfect proffer for you. Now let's talk about the cons of RebelsFunding. Personally, the only cons that I found when it comes to this proffer is the fact that scalping is not allowed. In fact, one of the rules that you need to follow is that you need to hold trades for more than 30 seconds. I know that for a lot of traders this is probably not gonna be a problem because on average they hold trades for a longer period of time, but if you're somebody that specifically tend to hold trades for lower than 30 seconds because this is part of your trading strategy, unfortunately RebelsFunding is not the proffer for you because you won't be able to get to the funded stage, and even if you manage to pass, you won't be able to request a payout because most of your trades are gonna be classified as invalid. So there you have it. This was my review of RebelsFunding. As I told you at the beginning, if you also would like to try this proffer, you can do so by clicking the first link in the video description. And once you get at checkout, if you tick this box and insert the discount code STKTRD, you're always gonna receive a discount of at least 13% on all your challenges, no matter the size of your purchase. So if you're serious about trying RebelsFunding, I suggest you follow these steps. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and until next time, happy trades!